Hey, greetings, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to Bull City Hangout 411. I'm Pat Murray. I publish the Durham Skywriter, that's Durham, North Carolina's online community paper. And usually with Bull City Notes, I tell you what's happening today in the Bull City, but there's not a lot of things happening right now. And plus, it's Easter weekend anyway, so there's not too many things scheduled. So instead, I'm having Bull City Hangout, where you can join me on camera. This app that I'm using, or platform that I'm using, StreamYard, can accommodate 6 people on screen at the same time, which is really cool. So if you want to join me, that's cool. First, I want to send a shout out to Talladega College, Talladega Crimson and Blue, class of 78. Yes, indeed. So I just want to shout out. I just got this sweatshirt in the mail this week, so I'm real happy about that, and a t-shirt as well. Okay, so here's a couple of things I wanted to bring up today. I just got back from, I did a little bit of shopping. I went to the food line over by the Scrap Exchange, and then I went to Compare. Is it Compare or Compare? Because I don't know if Compare is a Spanish word. Let me know. Anyway, they were full of customers. But what I did notice, when I was watching people apply, their hand sanitizer, don't forget those fingertips, because I'm noticing people are, they're squirting out the hand sanitizer and they're going like this, but they're not including the fingertips. So be sure to do that. Ooh, I got to guess Guy Cook is waiting in the wings. Let me make these couple of announcements, Guy, and then I'll bring you in. Okay. So two more things I wanted to bring up. Let's see. Oh, also, I noticed lots of people still not wearing the face masks. Please do so. I even saw store employees not wearing face masks. And somebody told me, I'm not going to say what store they were in because I can't remember. Actually, I remember, but I don't want to say. But anyway, they told me that the employees were told not to wear face masks because it scares the people. I'm not going to say anything about that. Now, I do want to bring something up. There is something happening all week. Research Triangle Academy. I want you to know about this now. This is for the feeding program, which of course is not in operation right now during the weekend. But, Barb Tomlin's here. Maybe she's going to join us as well. And she is saying that fingernail length is also an issue and germs can get caught under the nails. Thank you. Very important. I keep mine really short because I play guitar. Okay. So Research Triangle Academy. This is for Monday. This is for Monday through Friday next week. Okay. So they're located at 2418 Ellis Road. They actually need our help. They need our help in helping our community. Basically, they're taking part in what I think is a federally funded feeding program for young people ages 18 and under. And they are in danger of being in violation because they're not feeding enough kids. They are kind of out of the way. Like I said, 2418 Ellis Road. So it's nowhere near downtown Durham, so people have pretty much forgot about them. But here's the thing. They have food. They want to give away food. They want to help the kids, ages 18 and under, from 9 until noon, weekdays. So here's how it works. You can go up there and pick up the bagged meals, okay? Or you can send, if your 18-year-old is driving and they have siblings and whatnot, they can pile into the car with their face masks and pick up the bags and then head back home. Also, this is the cool part. So if you know a bunch of kids, or I should say young people, living in apartment, complexes, low-income housing, or even single-family homes that are like close together, you can actually get an accurate count, call it in. The phone number is right there on, I think I put it on the cover story page of the Durham Skywriter, durhamskywriter.com. So you call in your count of young people who want to make sure get fed, and parent and or staff volunteers are actually making deliveries of these bagged meals. So be sure to do that. Don't let these kids go hungry just because school is out. And one more thing, happy Easter, happy Passover. I know some people are starting their training for Ramadan by eating less, which is really hard if you're home all day. But inshallah, you can do it. You know you can do it. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Let's bring in Just Guy, who is Guy Cook. Let's click on Guy real quick. Boom. Guy, how are you?
I am older and wiser.
In one
Mostly,
day? You were just here yesterday?
oh yeah, I got a day older. It's not a lot wiser, just a little tiny bit.
Okay. So
But
what's new in Oregon?
I don't know. I live in Washington. You got to ask.
Washington.
You have to ask Barb about Oregon.
Barb is in Oregon. You're in
That's
Washington.
that's
Okay.
okay, Pat. That's called sometimers.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
there's the bad disease Alzheimer's where you don't remember anything,
I know all
right?
about
But
Alzheimer's.
sometimers happens when you get the state wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so all those people that want to donate to Pat's Sometimers Relief Fund, just send it right down for the relief fund on the
No, it's
edge of the
okay.
$20 bill and mail it in.
Actually, I do want to mention
Mm,
the Durham Community Land Trustees. They
yeah.
are they have a on their webpage. They're soliciting donations because some people are having trouble paying their rents. As you know, a lot of people have been laid off, furloughed,
Right.
whatever. So be sure to contribute to that if you can. So
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know how soon this check we're supposed to get. I'm ready. I could
I
get it yesterday.
I think it's supposed to come out this week for some
Well,
people.
I think the
Uh,
money to be made is we're going to sell $1 tickets for the pool to predict when the checks come out for real.
I think I'll just wait for the check.
And
Um,
and we'd probably get a lot of people suggesting, well, it's going to come out at 4 o'clock Friday, that kind of stuff. We'll
We'll
see.
see. I hope it happens soon for a lot of people because now I'm okay because I am now eligible for Social Security. I started getting my checks recently,
Hmm.
um, but a lot of people I don't have to pay rent. I have to give honor to my ancestors and their hard work. I have this house. I didn't even work for it. I guess I earned it by taking care of my
Yeah,
aunt.
yeah.
But a lot of people they're still paying their mortgages, their rents.
One thing, going back to taking care of your aunt. Okay,
Mhm. She
one
had
of the things,
Alzheimer's. That's why I said
yeah,
I knew everything about Alzheimer's.
when
Yeah.
when you have chores to do and
Hmm.
thinking about, I got to mow my mom's grass and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I don't mind doing that because that's paying back one of the diaper changes I had when I was a kid.
There you go. That's a nice way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm working those off.
I like that. I like that a lot. Also, look after your neighbors, especially the elderly ones. I don't know what's with elderly people. They keep thinking that whenever they ask for help, they're being a burden. I don't know why they say they. I'll tell each and every old person that I know says that. Oh, I don't want to
I
be a
li- I
burden.
live
Oh, I
in
don't
a
want to trouble
I live
you.
in a manufactured home park. You were talking about houses close together,
Hmm.
and the people here, I have to tell them, because I know I'm 68 and I'm a kid in this
Okay.
in this neighborhood. I'm a youngster, so I tell them, I said, on Tuesday, that's our garbage day. Don't take my garbage can out because it'll be heavy as heck. It's
Mm-hmm.
too big for you to manage. Just leave it. I'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. You got to, and they kind of look at you like, well, I can get the empty one. I'll put it back when it's empty. It's on
Mm-hmm.
wheels anyway. So there you go.
Yeah, that's a good point because here in Durham, you roll your garbage can out to the street. So make sure that your elderly neighbors have their garbage cans rolled out. Roll it out for them
Yeah.
if you can.
And and there's little like baby steps for me. Like when I go get the newspaper from my mom, Bob Ragsdale, who lives across the street,
Mm-hmm.
has been getting mom's paper for years. Mom has always thought the paper boy did it, but it's Bob that's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes every paper except the Sunday paper because it's big. He takes the paper and rolls it up and sticks it in the handle of her screen door, and she gets
Nice.
the paper, doesn't have to
Isn't
walk
that
out.
nice?
He explained to me why he did that. Because her little dog Joy would follow mom out to the mailbox to get the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob, from his window across the street, just knew that dog was going to trip mom and she was going to fall down on the pavement.
Hmm. Yeah.
So he figured out, if I get the paper and put it on her back door, I don't have to watch the dog tripping mom. Eh?
Clever. That's
That's a win.
clever. That's good. Because, sometimes it takes one fall to end your freedom. A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
seniors have to go into nursing homes because of that one fall. You
Mom's
know.
in assisted living over that right now
Hmm.
because her fall was in January. She's been at this place since January,
Hmm.
and then her doctor calls me and says all the things wrong and stuff. I said, I don't have any words for you right now. You've just
Hmm.
cheered me up too much.
Hmm.
Anyway, enough
Wow.
enough whining.
I
So what
understand.
else is going on? Has there been any big um, cancellations in Durham, like a concert schedule, like at the
Oh, yeah, everything. I mean, the American Dance Festival, which is gigantic.
yeah.
I'm sure full
Now the
frame,
dance festival, is that like these real fancy dancers?
ballet but all
Oh,
kinds of dance, ballet,
oh, okay.
African, whatever kind of dance is out there.
Oh, all
It's
right, all right.
celebrated, and I'm sure that's canceled. I'm sure the almost a double take. That's the old name. Full frame documentary film festival is probably canceled.
Wow.
Uh,
And the
oh
Durham
my God,
Skywriter,
there's
your website for
art of
Durham has got a
cool.
list of all the stuff, right?
Usually,
Like
yeah.
cancel. Yeah, because
I
they're going to let you know
I
because everybody's
didn't
working.
actually didn't list what's canceled. Well, some things I am listing as canceled, but pretty much everybody knows that
Yeah,
everything is canceled.
yeah. Anything
Every,
more than 10 people here is canceled. That's
yeah, so it's
we're on
actually
lockdown till I think May the 4th. I think is the new date now.
okay. Well, the city
But
and the
but
county of Durham just said we're down to five now, down from 10 to five in terms of number of
oh
people who can gather together. So,
wow, the
yeah.
um the policy here they said May the 4th. I said okay, May the
Oh,
4th,
okay.
and then the governor he comes out and says schools closed the rest of the year, which
The
is
rest of the
going
year,
that's going clear into June.
that's going
So I'm
beyond.
going. This guy over here is saying May the 4th, and this guy is saying no, it's going to be till June. I think the governor's going to win
Doesn't the
this.
rest of the year mean,
The
that it's
rest
not
of the
going to
school year.
it's not going to start up in fall either? Is what I'm hearing. If he's saying the rest of
Well,
the year,
I think we talked about this yesterday about if the colleges don't start back up and there's not dorms full of students,
mm-hmm.
that owning uh, any kind of storefront is going to have a decreased population. There won't be as
Mm-hmm.
many people going to the stores. Like
Mm-hmm.
Andy's Market, that's a local chain of stores here, mom and pop store. They opened a store downtown in Walla Walla to, I'm sure, to market to the college crowd because it's pretty close to the campus. Well, they're not going to get to the college crowd
Yeah, Alfredo.
because there isn't going
Howdy.
to be one.
Oh,
Oh man, he,
yeah.
you'd think a guy at Amazon would have to shave, you know,
Huh?
Mr.
What?
Guy, have you
with
received your package today?
Whoa! Turn down your volume a little, Alfredo. Whoa!
I'm
Can
sorry?
you? Is it
Oh,
possible for you to
about?
turn down the volume a bit?
yeah,
All right, I'll try to be softer this time. How's that?
right.
Okay, there you go.
Now, is this the Amazon mobile that
Your
you're in?
indoor
Because you
voice.
got the vest on and everything.
I am off the clock, and this is
Oh,
my mobile. My mobile.
oh,
Awesome.
it's not the Amazon mobile. It's the
The-
Alfredo.
yes, sir.
I like the Amazon logistics.
Um,
Impressive.
let's talk about Amazon for a second. And people are ordering stuff online, as Alfredo knows, because he's getting lots of hours, I'm sure. The recent order I made from Amazon.
I'm not customer service there, Mr. Guy.
I know, but I want you to hear this out. So I went to I'm gonna give you a good website as a part of this conversation. So get your pencil ready.
I don't have a pencil right now.
I ordered a dog grooming table, right? Those you set your little dog on, they put the noose on their neck so they don't jump around. Ordered the table, and they said, "Oh, you got that on March 27th. It was delivered." No, not in my house. So I went and looked at the tracking number, And it said, "Yep, it was signed off as postal delivered March 27th."
Oh boy.
Well, not very much. So I went through the hurdles, found out it was FedEx. FedEx had handed it off to the postal service, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
yeah,
tracking number was,
that is one of our third party
yeah,
vendors.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So I took and called up FedEx customer support, and as you know, for customer support calls to anybody these days is fraught with a waiting period.
Sure.
So the first, I keeping score. The first time I called, I waited 48 minutes and it hung up.
I still don't understand why you're telling me this story.
That's okay. Stay with us. The second time I called, it was 40 plus minutes, but the hold music didn't play this time. And every 6 seconds, it says, "We appreciate you calling
So,
FedEx
so you
customer
hated the
service."
holding music? You
I
wanted a different holding music? Is that what it
no,
is?
no, just listen. Just listen, Sonny. In fact, I'm going to cancel all my Amazon orders now.
No.
Hey.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They so the third time I called, I got through, and the guy was, as you can imagine, fraught with stress because he's,
I'm
I don't
sure
know,
he's been
working
yelled
from
at.
home or whatever. And he told me, he says, "That's not a good tracking number. That went to Alabama. That's a different
Oh,
customer. It's not your
damn.
name. So whatever they're saying that your tracking number is, that ain't it."
Oh.
Okay. So I said, "Well, how do I contact customer service? Because they're not going to take my phone call. I'd already had three 40-minute plus phone call
Hmm.
waits
Hmm.
already. I was out of things to do. I was waiting. I was playing Scrabble and all kinds of games.
Washing your
Anyway,
car.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, the website, pencil ready, is called
Tech
techboomers.com.
boomers.
Tech Boomers has got a tutorial of one of hundreds on how to contact Amazon support by email.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, I've got a podcast episode coming up about Tech Boomers. It's
Interesting.
pretty cool. You're gonna
Yeah,
like going to that website.
that's
Tech
not
Boom
my area, Mr. Guy. I'm so sorry. I can't help you.
Tech Boomers is got a lot of tutorials on how to use websites that you use all the time, like Facebook,
That's cool.
YouTube, etc.
Oh,
So
because I
anyway,
definitely have some Facebook questions.
so I went into to that how to do it, found the article on how to contact their support, went through the steps. There's some little steps you got to go on through the Amazon website to get to
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
contact support. And so I sent it to them, and they sent me back a message.
Hmm.
Well, you got to wait 48 hours. If you don't hear back from them in 48 hours, then come back to
Did
us.
they commit a
And we,
Oh,
crime? Do you have to wait 48 hours or something?
yeah, they committed a crime and they didn't send the product, and I
yeah.
paid 40
They
some
gave to the
bucks for
wrong
it.
person.
Yeah,
Mm.
and
Man.
I don't know if they sent my product to the wrong person or if they gave. I think what happened is
They
they
gave the
gave
wrong
me the wrong tracking number,
tracking number. Yeah.
and that my order is still sitting on the shelf at Amazon, never been shipped.
What did
That's
what did you order?
see, he's not listening, Pat.
I
Remember
am
when I said
listening.
A
No,
remember when
dog,
I
dog
said I
grooming
ordered a
table.
a
grooming
grooming
table I
table.
ordered for small dogs? Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and it,
I have a positive story.
Ah,
I ordered from Amazon last week for something, and they promised that I would get it this Friday, and I got it Wednesday, which is 2 days early. And I think what Amazon and maybe other companies are doing is that they are, what's that phrase? You under promise and over deliver.
right.
Yeah. So I got
Exceed
it
your expectations.
exactly. So when I got it Wednesday, I was like, oh, instead, because ordinarily people would say, oh, wow, it took so long, 4 days.
Yeah.
But
They
instead, I'm
also
like,
don't.
oh, I got it 2 days early.
CenturyLink years ago, I leased my modem, and that was so if I ever had a problem, I get a new one.
Guy, you know how to use the internet?
Yeah, I've been doing it since before
Oh,
they
he's an
fixed it, so I'm kind
expert.
of getting the hang.
Alfredo, you're
So
talking to an OG,
The
yeah,
OG
yeah, I'm an
when dial up
OG.
was around.
But you
probably.
know,
I am
okay.
too. But go ahead. Go ahead, guy.
Sorry, guys.
Well, the modem died, and so I called up customer support
Hmm.
on a Monday, like mid morning on a Monday, Wednesday, I had the new modem. Just
Wow.
kabam.
Boom.
And it came from Colorado. I mean, the guy
Wow.
must have hand carried it through the process
He rushed it through.
to get it, yeah, to get it out the door ASAP. And now, getting back to how long you've been on the internet, the reason that I sign up with Just Guy, I own the website justguy.net. The Just Guy part came up years ago in the Internet Relay Channel, which is text chat kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to sign up with the name Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 3 characters wasn't accepted. You had to have more than 3 characters.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know that it was 3 character limit at the time because I was a noob. It was back in the 90s, probably
Mm-hmm.
95 or so.
Okay.
So I was typing at the guy. I said, I just want the handle Just Guy, not even thinking about it. He
Mm-hmm.
says, okay, you can have Just Guy. Bazinga. I
Oh,
was just Guy was
that's
my
clever.
handle. So,
That reminds me of one of my seventh grade teachers. His name was Earl Gordon,
yeah.
and when he enlisted in the army, he wasn't allowed to. How can I put it? They did not allow um, the fact that if you didn't have a middle name, that was unacceptable. Let's put it that
Oh,
way.
yeah. Yeah, you had to have one.
So he chose Zero. His parents had not given him a middle name. He was just
Right.
Earl Gordon. So it was Earl O. Gordon, and the O stood for zero.
Zero. I like that name. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Um,
funny.
I think I copied Guy's Just Guy thing with my website name, but I put text in between, so I say Just Text Out.
Oh yeah, just text. Yeah, that's cool. So Alfredo, you've been having long days, I bet.
Yeah, long days at home, long days at work.
Mm-hmm.
No, when you're at work, you're at the warehouse pulling stuff off the shelf, putting it in the box and sending it to me, right? Or are you going out in a truck?
I'll leave that process to myself, so that way I don't get in trouble telling you what I do.
That's
Oh,
cool. That's cool.
it's secret.
Hush, hush.
Yeah.
You see
Just-
where it says logistics on his hat. So
Yeah, just know I work there. I just can't tell you what I do.
yeah, it's
Why
it's
does
all.
it say 6 foot on top of his hat? Because I know Alfredo ain't 6 foot tall.
It's one of those safety rules we have to follow. We need to be 6 feet apart.
Oh, it just means that you can walk underneath the 6 foot bar
6 feet apart,
connecting the shelf.
like 2 meters apart.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
a-
a distance,
yeah.
proximity. I got you. I
yeah,
got you.
it's a good reminder too. So when people forget, I go, remember, 6
Well,
feet. And
with that
you
beard,
throw in
they're
a
probably
dab.
afraid of
Throw
you.
a dab so that they remember. So they go 6 feet.
Exactly. But for
Dab.
Canadians, you should have. Oh, I like the dab. Love the dab. You should have 6 feet 2 meters.
Right.
Oh,
right.
put the 2 put 2 meters.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
foreign
for
people.
the sake of the Canadians, exactly.
Yeah. I'll probably put a 2 meter sticker next to it.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
very cute.
the rare times I've had to go to the store, they now have markers on the floor, like at the Dollar Tree, because I had to go get my baby aspirin, the 81 milligram low dose aspirin. That's what old farts take. Hey,
Oh,
you hear a bell?
Sorry,
Whoa.
I'm sorry. Hello.
I
Yes,
guess on the mobile app you can't mute the microphone.
here we go. Here we go.
I'm coming home.
I just muted him.
Oh,
Okay.
darn.
Well, he's talking to
I
his
wanted
family,
to scream loud
probably.
enough that his
That might be personal.
Are you buying the next round?
All right, Miss Patricia, I have to skedaddle.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Daddy duty calls. Did you want me
that
to answer
wonderful?
some questions?
No, I'm
No,
just happy that you're
I
going to
don't
be
wanna
with your
ask-
family.
When somebody's got a secret job at Amazon, I don't ask any questions because that be labeled as a.
I just hope you have a wonderful Easter, Alfredo,
Yeah,
with your family.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go spoil the kids.
I'm literally quarantined for a while, for 2 weeks,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
and I'm basically not doing any church duties for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm happy
Well,
about
can't
that.
you? Speaking
ahead.
of the church,
Uh-oh.
if you had to, can you log in remotely and do the church service? I'm sure
Well,
there's not going to be.
that I can tell you. That I can tell you.
Yeah.
If they have still good internet access, someone turns the PC
Right.
on, I can only remote into the PC. I can't turn on the devices physically.
Well, they just have to turn the stuff on and say, "Okay, go," and then you pop the clutch, and the whoever's delivering the sermon, the preacher, can go up there to an empty.
Yes,
Okay.
the church, one of the newest church elders, he goes by the name of Ron Tatum. Very good man to learn from. He's learned how to live stream, like not along with me. His method was more phone live streaming. He
Mhm.
just got into desktop, laptop live streaming. He's still
Yeah.
learning. And me, I'm already a pro level, I guess, right? Pro
Mhm.
level.
Cool.
But yes,
Well, secret to me, I don't know.
they did attempt a remote service Friday for Good Friday.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I called it the first version of remote attempt because
Mhm.
they can. And,
Well, if you can hear it, then the people that have good internet can hear it, and that's
correct,
important
correct.
for them. I'm sure.
The only thing they stumbled on was the audio. Audio is always difficult to deal with when you're on.
Yeah.
Well, there was a thing. Was it 60 Minutes? Maybe I don't know. Something I saw on TV, and they said, "Is it hard to deliver sermons to an empty congregation? You have to keep prodding yourself
Just
because you're not going to hear all the amens and the hallelujahs and the so forth.
it
You just
helps when there's at least one person in the crowd.
yeah, you're just preaching to nobody. Do you still have the same enthusiasm? I guess is
Yes,
the word I want.
yes, you do because
And they said it's hard. It's because they're so used to doing it the other way. When
where
they
there's
got
so many people.
five
I
thousand
mean,
people in front
I mean, right now you're preaching to me, guy, and I'm like, yay, amen.
you better hope I don't get your wife's phone number. Because I will call her and say, yeah, Alfredo's run up a hell of a tab out here at the bar. And he keeps coming in wearing his Amazon uniform like he's going to work, but he's in here drinking all day.
She wouldn't believe it.
No,
She,
no.
no.
She
Okay.
tries to ignore
Give
all
me the
my
phone
internet.
number. Give me the
All
phone
right,
number. Yeah, see what I mean, Pat?
it's 1-800
None your
Yeah.
business.
believe me, or none of your business.
None your
Yeah.
business.
Right.
Oh, Barb is here. Oh my God.
Barb's coming in.
Hey, Barb.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm
I've-
laughing behind the scenes,
Yeah.
of course. You're really giving it to Alfredo today.
Yeah,
Well, he's got a secret.
Guy and I go along back way. He's like the grandfather I never had that knows how to use the internet.
Barb, you know that he has a secret job at Amazon. He can't even tell us what his job is.
Oh, he's a delivery person for Amazon. He takes the stuff from the warehouse to the destinations.
Thank you
Oh, heck.
thank you for believing that I'm a delivery person. That makes my job even more secret. Yeah.
See?
I thought
That's-
you were the
He
one.
wants to,
I
he
don't know
wants
if
to-
you were sober or not, but I saw you on a live where you were saying, you were really happy you got that job.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
Of
Yeah.
course he was
So-
sober. Barb.
Well, I mean, when he said that he wasn't doing the deliveries, and
There's so many jobs with Amazon. It's not just delivery.
exactly in the logistics division,
Mhm.
as in many other divisions of the company. I have second cousins, the guy that's head of all the e-commerce side.
And they're
excuse
still
me.
hiring. They're still hiring jobs.
Yes, absolutely.
That's, I mean,
Absolutely.
in this form of epidemic or this crisis, jobs.amazon.com. If you, I'm sorry,
There you go.
Amazon.jobs.com, and then you'll go
Right
for
there.
it. You was there.
Oh. Okay, wait. Oh,
Oh.
where's my pen? Okay, wait. that was-
Amazon.jobs.
Okay, thank you.
Amazon.jobs.
It's
Well-
not jobs.amazon.com.
No, Amazon.jobs.
.com. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
I would check that link, Pat.
Oh, I check all links. I check all links.
Because when you have a secret job at Amazon, they don't give you a high level of clearance for knowing all the URLs in the world. Okay.
I trust that Alfredo gave me the right information, but of
Yeah.
course, I check all links,
You know,
even my
motto-
own.
Right. If it isn't tested, it doesn't work. That's what I've said for
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
A guy,
And I've
Yeah.
test,
a guy
I've
that I
tested it.
know in
I've tested a
Alaska.
guy. It works. It works.
Yeah, a guy in Alaska that I know. He gave me that mantra: if it isn't tested, it doesn't work. And I kind of went. At that time, I kind of went, yeah, right. That's good. I know what I'm doing. I'm never going to make a mistake. Come on. I've been doing this for years. I made the first mistake.
Hmm.
And thank God I
All right.
tested
So
it and caught the
I'm
mistake
I'm
before I put it up.
I'm gonna be going through my secret duty at Amazon. So
Yeah. Okay.
I'll see you guys later. And
Okay, Alfredo.
remember, the Amazon delivers smiles, and Amazon life matters.
All right. Thank you, Alfredo.
Okay.
Now, do
Have a
your
good
glasses
weekend.
fog up?
They do, but what I do is I just have a second one to put on and just kind of put it in.
You put them over the mask and they won't fog up. You put them over
Yeah.
over the mask. Yeah, then they won't fog up.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
saw it on Facebook.
That's what my wife is having. That
See?
challenge. She
Oh.
every once in a while has the urge to go out for a drive to someplace, and I say, "Well, if you go out, please wear a mask." She says, "Yeah, but my glasses fog up."
I hear
Not if
I hear
if
it.
your mask is under the glasses, it
There you
won't.
go. Mm-hmm.
You're staying isolated very well, Guy, because I want you to last longer than maybe 100 more years, because they may come up
Yeah,
they
keep
may come up
hoping.
with a cure for death in a
If
year.
if there's 100 years left, I will frickin' haunt you. Okay, you're gonna go to the bathroom mirror one day. You'll see me looking back. I
Now
got
that's
this right now.
scary.
Hey, I can go in my bathroom. I can't do the camera, but there's an old guy that looks back at me in the bathroom right now.
You know what? You know that's really a scary occurrence that really happens with
I'm gonna
Alzheimer's patients.
I'm,
They don't
I'm
recognize
gonna
themselves.
slowly bow
I,
out
I
by
Okay,
muting my
Alfredo.
camera, and
yeah.
then
If
Pat
we keep
can
saying
remove.
goodbye, he'll go home. Is
Okay.
his wife
Pat remove.
wondering? And then I'm gonna Google his name and get the phone number because he lives in California someplace, and there can't be that many Tigalos, right?
You
Never
haven't
know.
connected by phone before with Alfredo
Um,
in all these years?
I don't think so. I think I've only if he's been on the phone, I've not known it.
Hmm.
I've only known him in an environment like this.
Oh.
So how are you, Barb?
It's scheduled to be a really beautiful day again, but not nearly
Okay.
as warm as yesterday.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
same here. Yeah, it cooled off
yeah.
yesterday and today.
Here it's going to be. They're saying 15 degrees drop from Friday to today.
Really? Yeah, that happened
Yeah.
here. Actually, it's going to be. I forgot to mention this during my show, but it's 57 right now. It's going up to 64, and tomorrow it's going to be 75.
Oh, lucky.
But rainy. It's going to
Oh.
rain tomorrow. That's
But who
okay.
cares? If
That's
it's
damp.
75, I could sit in a chair in the rain at 75.
Yeah.
Good
And
gosh.
what's the humidity?
Oh, I don't know, but the sky is clear, and it's. I don't think it's going to rain today at all. So
Uh-huh.
I think the humidity is probably kind of low today.
But North Carolina traditionally is a little bit higher
Hey,
humidity.
Crystal's here.
Yeah.
Hey, Crystal. If Crystal wants to join us, the link is
Oh, that's from what county is she from? I forgot.
Warren
Warren.
County.
Yeah, Warren
Warren
County.
County.
See, we remember you, Crystal. You made an impression.
Hey, Crystal.
18,922 population.
Wow. Yeah, it was just under
Something like
19,000,
that.
if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
But it's really short.
So y'all be in a rural county then?
Yeah, she publishes Warrenist.com,
Oh,
and that's an online publication.
She's a PR
Well-
media professional.
we should be sure to tell her that URL that I gave you earlier. Did you catch that, Barb?
Oh, the tech boomers one.
Techboomers.com. Put
Oh,
that
I didn't
on
write
the
down
checkout
.com.
list.
Okay.
Well, isn't techboomers.com some folks that we know from Blab? Isn't that right?
Might be people that you know. I never kept track of any of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Oh.
I'm sure a couple of the gals are actually in the Born to Stream Live group.
Oh, okay.
I'll check it
Well,
out later because I
anyway,
attend.
that Tech Boomers, I can't say anything bad about it.
Mm-mm.
It's a pearl in the oyster of my surfing this morning.
So you said
Yeah.
that they help not just with Amazon, all websites or all
Well,
retail
popular
websites?
websites, they've got all the gravy on the potato, like the things you don't know about using Twitter, for instance, or the secrets of Instagram and so forth
Hmm.
and so on.
I've subscribed to their YouTube channel for a long time.
Yeah, I
It's
just signed up today to their YouTube channel. I was telling Pat earlier about a problem I had with Amazon and a tracking number, and they had the how to contact Amazon tutorial on their YouTube channel. And
hmm
so then after I watched that and it worked, I said, there's a pearl in this oyster. And so I went to their YouTube and wrangled around, found out where their website address was, techboomers.com.
I think they
And
even have a Facebook group.
yeah, I think they
I'm
do.
gonna check them
I'm
out.
sure they
I
probably
really
do.
do.
I think they have a channel on Twitter. I think they have a Facebook. I think they have an Instagram and a YouTube. YouTube is I
the
don't know,
best.
seeing how they show it. They've got excellent videos,
Hmm.
and they walk you through the menu at Amazon. You go here, and then you click on this, and then you do this and this, and
I
then
agree.
bazooka, you're into the email that you're trying to get. And then another good online commerce site like Amazon wasn't enough. They go into eBay and how you do
Uh-huh.
that on eBay. I don't shop
Yeah,
with
it's
eBay. They
very
had it.
comprehensive and very
Yeah,
well done.
yeah,
Very
I
yeah.
like eBay. I shop on eBay sometimes.
Well, my experience with eBay was this. Years ago, I thought, oh gosh, I'm going to make some serious money selling stuff on eBay.
Hmm.
I found a piece of pottery. I can't remember now what the brand was. It's a famous brand. And I've got this picture at the local secondhand shop. And I said, I'm going to sell this on eBay and make some bucks. So I sold it on eBay and I shipped it out to wherever it was. I don't remember now. Probably North Carolina. And no, I'm kidding. The the lady comes back and flames me on eBay. Oh, this is the picture I can buy off
Whoa,
this rack. It's not an antique. Blah blah blah. And so I said, I'm done. I'm done.
man!
I sent her the money back. I said, forget about it. I'm not going to do this anymore, and I haven't. I haven't done it since the '90s.
Wow, that's
I've
too
looked.
bad.
I've looked
It.
at prices on stuff on eBay. I've
Mhm.
researched, but I've not done any transactions there.
I've had wonderful experiences with eBay.
me too.
I found back when I was young, like in the 70s and 80s, I bought silly knickknacks, TV show knickknacks, not because I really wanted them, but I thought when I got old,
Oh,
maybe I could sell them, not knowing that the internet was going to be invented.
right.
So here I am, I'm older. I really needed the money, seriously. And believe it or not, I was able to sell things that I bought for $1, $2, and $3 for upwards of $100. And it was wonderful because I really needed the money bad.
The best score I've ever heard of is my sister, who is into that stuff. She knows about collectibles and all that stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, got what was that show? Family Affair, and there was
Hmm.
Jody and Buffy,
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
right? And the
Hmm.
little girl had a doll named Mrs. Beasley.
Right, I remember.
My sister got a Mrs. Beasley doll
Hmm.
for like $5 or $10 at a
Hmm.
yard sale. She sold it for over $100
Hmm.
to a collector.
Yeah, I had all kinds of Star Wars stuff, Michael Jackson, the A Team, MASH, just all kinds of just knickknack,
It's
memorabilia
funny you
stuff.
said A Team. I was the only guy I could think of who also didn't have a middle name was Mr. T.
Yeah.
He probably does, though.
Well, yeah, it's a decimal. It's
Right,
Mr.
Mr. Dot T.
T.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, another thing, I was able to sell things that I make. I
Hmm.
actually make fraternity, sorority walking sticks. I still do.
Ah,
The only, just about one of the only things that I still have listed. But yeah, so I
do
have
they
those.
order like they say? I want a Gamma Delta 5.
Well, they tell me the colors. I usually
Yeah,
don't know all the. Yeah.
yeah.
So
You
yeah,
don't have a
they're all.
warehouse full of walking sticks waiting for somebody to need one. You
No, I
build them
probably have.
custom.
I have like half a dozen. in the
Well,
most.
that's not a warehouse. That's
Well, for my house it is, but yeah, they're custom made.
right.
Because one guy belonged to an engineering fraternity and he wanted blue and green. Never
Yeah.
heard of those two colors together, but they were really pretty,
Yeah.
really pretty. So yeah, they're
Well,
custom made, and then I sell. Uh, I have these gigantic vinyl original jazz posters from Duke University. When people like Chick Corea, famous jazz artists, come to town, and then they dump the vinyl banners, and I was able to grab up a bunch of them, and I've sold a couple of those online as well, because those are one of a kind.
yeah.
So yeah, so every now and then.
Yeah.
Oh, Alfredo wants to come back, I think. Wait.
Hi, I made
Oh,
it.
hey.
Yeah. I made it. I guess I completed my mission in like 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't.
Wow.
I was gonna get rid of your. You can like kick the person from the whole studio. I'm glad I didn't. So I was able
Yeah.
to still see you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm walking to my home domicile right now. You can actually see home
No.
base if you guys don't mind.
I thought
No?
you were on a green screen, had a video behind it. That's how those secret guys roll. They want you to think, "Oh, this is where I live." Yeah, sure.
This is where I live.
Yeah, yeah. We're
Green
not
screen.
buying that for a minute.
It's not a green screen. It's actually real. I'm
Okay.
pulling out my house
Okay,
key.
then
Pulling out my house key,
then
and then I'm gonna probably switch to the laptop. So
okay.
Okay.
here we are in the humble domicile of the Tigolo residence. We're gonna turn on the lights.
Yay.
Well, I
The kids
just
are.
thought of one thing. You know what I used to remember about Alfredo's house? He had a
What happened?
he had a smoke detector with how when it goes
Oh
beep, beep,
yes,
beep,
the smoke
when the
detector. It kept
batteries are
beeping. Yeah.
low,
Beep.
and that he put up with that for several days. I couldn't imagine like more than 10 minutes. But I would go in there like on Wednesday. Yep, it's still beeping.
I've asked people about that, and I said, "What's that beeping in your house?" They're like, "Oh yeah, it's
The
been beeping."
batteries wearing out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they'll say stuff like, "Oh yeah, it's been beeping since last winter."
Yeah, and they just
How can
ignore
you
it.
stand it?
It's to me, it's like when you open the car door and that beep beep goes off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess they get used to it. I don't know.
The
I
thing
don't.
I was always amazed me is that when my smoke detector battery goes off and starts beeping like that,
Mhm.
it's never at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's always at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
I'm sound asleep. Nudge, nudge. Darling wakes me up. The smoke detector's going off.
Well, if you don't hear it, you should keep sleeping.
Yeah, well, I sleep pretty sound.
Yeah, tell her to go back to
They
sleep,
have
and
the
they'll fix it
Walking
in the
Dead. I'm
morning.
the Sleeping Dead.
Hmm.
So I get up and get a battery because I go to the Dollar Tree invariably for stuff,
Mhm.
and Mom got me onto the thing of buying batteries at the Dollar Tree. You
Oh
just put them in
yeah,
the-
you get an
there's a
8-pack for
corner hutch,
$1.
and there's a battery drawer, and that's where we keep the batteries.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm never lacking for the 9-volt battery for the smoke detector because I cannot
Okay, so I'm gonna
stand.
switch. Oh, sorry,
What?
I'm gonna switch to the laptop now. Give me a few seconds.
You keep
Okay.
promising.
It's probably gonna take a minute for him to turn
No,
it
that's
on.
have
okay.
to-
I charge $85 an hour. So the longer he makes me wait, the better.
Wait a minute.
That's funny, guy. That's funny. I haven't seen a single bill from you anyway. Thank you for being so generous.
I'm gonna call your house. Don't worry about it.
Did you still need my number, or are you gonna try to do the hard
you
way?
got an unlisted phone number? How many Tigalos are there in California?
Tigalos are a secret agent company,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we are
Well,
not.
I'm
listed.
guessing
Yeah.
it's your real name. I'm thinking I can look you up. I just have to go to what's that phone directory? Whitepaper.com? Something.
Whitepages.com.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And just
think
type in the name.
I just have a.
I say, "Oh, are you the guy?"
I
on
probably have a big
Son?
fan.
Oh, okay. Sorry to bother you. And then I'll just keep dialing. It's called War Dialer. There's an app that just keeps ringing phone numbers.
Hey Barb, did
War
you do?
dialer still exists?
I wanted to ask Barb
Sorry,
a question
Barb.
real quick. Yeah, did you do your you know how you show the outdoors and your little puppies. Have you done that yet today?
Oh, I ran a test this morning to see if I could be outside with them and if it would
Okay.
pick up the audio. So yes, I did one.
Oh,
They're
okay.
out there right now. If you want me to screen share, I can certainly do that. Their king is coming out of the house right now.
You're able to monitor them?
Yeah, well, I have to, because
Oh.
gosh.
they'll chew me out of house and home.
Wow.
Have they tried to chew out of the
So-
pen yet?
They've got the training. What do you call those? I have several of those metal training pens that I got, and
right.
boy, are they a godsend. But then I also got them in the house. Here, I'll put it in there. I won't share the audio, but
I want to see if we can screen share with 4 people. This is going to be interesting.
oh yeah, it goes down on this. We go down on the side. Our images will go on this side.
Okay, yeah,
when you
let's
do
see.
that.
Let's see.
Okay, I'm about to switch to the my laptop there. I'm going to drop out.
Okay, Alfredo.
But he can come back in and he'll still be on the side once you click to add it to your.
Oh. Here it
You
is.
have to have the 2 with the 1. There you go.
Oh,
there
how
you are.
cute. Okay.
And
Oh,
now-
aren't they
yeah, that's-
adorable?
So you can see what they're doing. They're chewing up their house.
The first caption I thought of
What
was
the
life
heck?
in the big house, but that went up though.
I know what you should do, Barb. Make a solution of hot pepper and make a solution like hot pepper and vinegar, whatever, and then paint.
Yeah,
the-
I had some stuff that was for that, and I painted it on. It didn't stop them.
Oh,
But
Really?
yep, they are. But I never. I have like Tabasco sauce. I mean, when you said that, I thought, maybe I'll make up my own solution and try that too.
Yeah, because
the store-bought stuff I
Yeah.
got is not working at all.
the Tabasco sauce, and then you throw in some.
Mm,
I don't know.
You don't think that'd be hot enough?
years ago.
I don't
we had
know.
a big boxer dog.
This is pretty cool. Oh,
Like
look
that.
at the cute doggies, guys.
And
Look at that.
What he would do, he would do 2 things. One thing, I got these clear vinyl flaps to put over the front so in the wintertime he wouldn't be freezing, tore them off. That can't have these. Chewed them right off, just ripped them off the house.
Look at he's
The other
chewing the.
thing-
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
Then the
now
other
I've
thing-
added my voice. They see, look,
Ah.
she can hear me talking right
Yeah.
now because the camera is straight
Tell her
across
no.
from her.
Tell her no,
Stop
bad.
that- Stop that
Stop
chewing.
doing that.
No.
Yeah.
Stop that, lady.
Who, me?
Yeah,
I like the look on her face. You can't be talking
you're
to me.
busted, girlfriend. Look at her.
Yeah.
That is
I
so
didn't know
funny.
the him or the her.
But
My niece
that
is getting a corgi.
is she.
Yeah, she said I'm getting a new dog because they had a boxer and he passed away. The new dog is a corgi. Do you know what they look like? I said, oh yeah, I know what corgis look like.
Well, King is a very rare corgi. That the male one, he's what they
No.
call a fluffy.
Oh,
Quit
okay.
chewing. You're gonna have to do it again. You need a motion sensor
So
on the
no
edge of that
bad.
house, so when they chew, it goes beep 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 or something. No, maybe that's the wrong thing. 'Cause then they'll be beeping it all the time.
Can you
Well, there's.
can you put a metal trim?
It's
on
too
there?
late. I'll have to buy another one eventually, but I'm not. I mean, like I said, they've probably done around 15 grand in damages.
Oh, not good.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised just because I didn't catch up with them fast enough. But
I wonder now. My neighbor next door used to have a dog, and who? What was he? He was a lab mix, and they're very mouth oriented.
Yeah.
And one day I went outside and noticed he had torn down the drain pipe.
wow.
And so I went next door. I told, because I know my neighbor would be furious. So I knocked on my neighbor's door. I said, your dog looks really sorry and really sad that he did this. But I'm afraid he tore down your drain pipe. And so he was, so since I warned him.
the verbal apology would work for the dog being seated.
It did, because he would have flown off the handle otherwise.
Ah.
But since I told him what happened, and he didn't have to discover it on his own, he reprimanded the dog, but he wasn't furious like he would have been if he had discovered it on his own. And plus, the dog really did look sorry. He was sitting there like this. But I would throw him toys over the fence because my next door neighbor he's a great guy, but he's old. Well, I'm old too, but he's older, and so he doesn't really play with the dog. And so I started throwing toys over there, and he'd bring them back, and I'd throw it, and he'd chew on it all day, and I throw little bones and dog bones.
Right.
So maybe Lady and King, maybe they need something else to chew on.
They have multiple chew bones,
but they're not the house.
So and they chew them too. They chew them too. But it's like they do this routine where they start off with the bones, then they play.
Hey.
Is it no? Bad.
You can't hear me.
They start off with the bones, and then they play tug of war with the towel, and are chewing it, shredding it as much as they can, and then they calm down. They chew a little bit more on the bones, and then they come and one of them attacks one side of the house, and the other attacks and the other is on the other side, and looking at each other. But right now, you can see that she's there. This is kind of a rare moment because he's the king, and he likes to take that position where she's at. So don't know why he's given her that place in the sun there, but
maybe he's chewing something else he shouldn't be chewing. I don't know.
Over to
like lawn furniture.
No, there's the pen to the left there of the house is just the pen and the deck. So there's and a water bowl. But there's a view for them. He can, and he loves to do that. He loves to look out at the lake.
Nice.
And if there's people down there, he
ducks.
will study them. Yeah.
So I see a chair, but that's beyond their pen then.
Yeah.
Right. It's on the other side. So that's where I go and sit and watch them play with them. That's what I did this morning. That's her. That's Lady. Lady, stop that. Okay.
That's funny. Now, Fredo says that his cat chews hanging wires, and I think you can fix that by getting getting a pool noodle and slip them into
you know what? That's a good idea. I'm gonna think about doing that.
Slip into the pool noodle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should definitely. I'm using a pool noodle because I bought a car for my play-on. She's in her 90s, decided to quit driving. And so I bought her old car. It's a Honda. And the back window, passenger side, doesn't roll up all the way, and the motor is broken. And so the window is just open, just this much. And when it rains, it, gets all over the place. So I put a pool noodle in there, and it really works. I cut it to size and squished it in there, and it works beautifully.
I've used pool noodle for something very similar, but are you sitting down?
Mm-hmm.
When they put the furnace in to our house, there was a gap like about this wide around the edge. And I thought, it's supposed to be that way. And one of the maintenance guys came and worked on cleaning the filter and whatnot, like they do every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Once in the spring, once in the winter. So anyway, he told me, he says, I don't know who built this, but it's really not right
Barb.
when they have the edge of the furnace doesn't flush up to the wall. You need to fill that gap. I said, well, should I just put masking tape on that?
Mm-hmm.
No, you need to make something more permanent than that. So,
how did Barb go from there to here?
Oh, she put her camera on. Oh, they're so adorable.
You're going nuts. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. I want to carry me. Mm-hmm. Oh, carry me.
But anyway, that's what I stuffed the gap with.
Yeah, actually,
a purple one.
Actually,
to make it styling.
Actually, I said I used a pool noodle. I actually, come to think of it, I got the idea from seeing a pool noodle. I actually used, the pool noodle was too big. I actually used the pipe is the same thing, but it's made for plumbing pipes.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the same thing, but it's smaller and it's gray. That's what I use, insulation thingy. That's what I actually use.
Those on the coast, I would wrap salmon leaders because you got to fish salmon with a barbless hook, right? So they'll pull right out easy.
Oh, wait a minute. How does that work? Huh?
I would hook the leader on. I have just a short piece of insulation, like maybe this big, not even.
Okay.
And I would wrap the leader around the rest of it and tuck it in to the coils. And bazinga, I had salmon leaders available for in the boat, not for fishing off the bank.
And salmon are really big, aren't they?
They can be.
Oh. So when you would catch salmon, usually were they like a foot long or longer?
Longer than a foot long, probably longer than 2 feet long.
That big?
I would say 28 to 30 inches.
I've never really seen one. Okay, because I noticed in the what do you call those? The fish places, fish markets. The hunks of salmon are quite large.
Oh, yeah, the fillets.
So I figured. So somebody is. I think Barb is probably getting some water for her dogs or something.
I can hear a noise. It sounds like a hose.
Yeah, I think she's gonna. Well, let's wait and see what happens.
I just figured it out. She needs a hose nozzle pointed right at that door. And when the dogs are chewing, she just pushes the button and they get blasted with the water. They will stop.
That could work.
Yeah,
I have a sprayer out right there by the camera. I have a sprayer to spray on them, but of course I got to be there paying attention to them and taking care of it.
Have a remote controlled spray.
Wait, what do you use the spray for?
To surprise them and get them to stop doing things.
Oh, it's almost like spraying a can, but you're spraying the dog.
Right, and that's always worked on my other pets, whether it's a dog or a cat. It's just that sudden, water in the face, they stop. But guess what happened when I went out there to check things?
What?
Over there behind the house is was a beautiful plant.
Oh, was?
While we were watching, remember when they were racing around there? They were pushing this fencing back against it so they could get to it.
And they did.
And they ate through the fencing as many leaves as they could get a hold of.
I told you he was chewing something he shouldn't have.
Yes, you're right. That's exactly.
Our boxer Mac Daddy went crazy on the lavender plant. He chewed all the top off, and then he dug the roots out. I've never seen anything like it. So
he was gardening. He was gardening.
Yeah, gardening, more like demolitioning. Yeah, Mac and lavender didn't mix.
I thought that was Bart. That's Alfredo making noise.
Oh yeah, I thought I muted myself. I guess I muted the wrong input.
That's okay.
Life happens here online. I can't be all perfect.
No, that's cool. Actually, I tell people who sometimes they're nervous about being on camera, and I'm like, I'm in your home. I'm your guest. Of course, your children have every right, and spouses, cousins, or whoever lives over there.
My son asked me. My son asked me to write a note if I leave the house. That's
okay.
Yeah. When you go off on these secret missions,
I have to tell them that.
Do any of you use the Restream.io for the multi?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Do you? So what is the new studio about?
That I don't know. All I know is that I still use Restream, but I didn't know there's a studio version of it.
Yeah, it says, I'm looking at this ad right now. It's sponsored, and it says Best Live Multi-Streaming Platform, now with Restream Studio. And so I noticed that Stephen Healy was doing something either yesterday or the day before on that.
I've seen that too.
And so, I have a lifetime license to the Restream.io, but I haven't honestly haven't used it because StreamYard gives me the destinations that I wanted. And I mean, I bought it before StreamYard did do that.
Oh,
But
time out. I'm throwing a flag. I just realized Barb, who can't get the virus, right, because of the lungs and so forth, was outside with the puppies with no mask on.
It's no, you
No,
have
that's
they
a
have
10-yard
transmitted.
penalty. I'm sorry.
No,
no,
it's
not.
no,
I'm
no,
at home. I'm at
guy,
home.
it's transmitted by like people
Person to
contact.
person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what.
If that's true, Alfredo, then how did the tiger catch the
Hmm?
virus? There's, I think, the Brooklyn Zoo. I don't know, some big zoo. One of the big cats has got the virus.
As
I'm
far
not.
as spreading
I
it,
don't.
they can't
Yeah.
spread. The animals can't spread it, and that's been. And you want to be really careful about anything you say about that guy because there's animal shelters all over. People are panicking and sending their pets there, and there is not. You can Google the heck out of it and find
Yeah.
out that the animals don't transmit it.
Yeah.
So don't
They
send
can
an
get it,
animal.
but they don't transmit it. Is that
Right.
correct? Yeah.
Right. Well, and even that, it's questionable there as far as whether it's really that they've got. They're testing that. You know, it pays to research.
Yeah. What I've learned so far, what I understand from Barb and other people online, they say something and you don't take it with a grain of salt. You have to follow up and see if it's true. Like
No
for example,
matter.
like for example, I work at Amazon. How come no one ever actually followed up and see I actually work at Amazon? You know?
Because you
Some
talked
of us
about it so
did.
much.
Yeah, we don't need to, Alfredo. It's,
Well,
it's sort of a
It's obvious.
given.
Real obvious.
Amazon is something I keep close to the vest, both as an investor, someone who's been involved since, before Jeff went and launched it. But the thing is, Google is so doggone simple, you guys. I set up an alert, the keyword news alert, and I'm notified. And you can do that multiple times a day or once a day. And so those kinds of things, that's why it comes up.
Were you surprised that Amazon purchased Twitch a couple years ago?
I knew that something was going to happen in the circles that I was in, and it had to happen. And I knew.
Sorry, excuse me.
While Alfredo's
you can
answering
turn
that.
off his audio.
Okay,
you can mute their audio.
Home. There's the tavern down here. We got a hell of a tab for a guy, Alfredo Tegalo's tab over the last few weeks, and we want to find out if we can get a check for that. How big a boy are you?
Silly man.
Yeah. Look on the camera. You can see the phone in my hand.
Oh, guy! I thought it was like an emergency call. What the heck?
That just proves. That's just proof that you never put your phone number on your screen in a Hangout, because there's always some crazy guy.
Crazy old guy.
I just had to know. Now I just got to add that to my contacts, so I have to remember what it is.
I wanted to ask Barb or whoever knows, Restream. Can you tell us how to use that? What that's all about?
Do you want to take it, Barbara?
No, I'll let you do it because, I'll just tell you, I bought it and I bought a lifetime subscription to it before StreamYard offered multi-streaming directly.
Okay, I have to plug in my laptop real quick. Just got a signal. Be right back. Okay. Wait a sec. I got to plug it in.
Quick.
So
she'll lose it.
A guy got me good. I didn't realize I put my phone number there. Oh my gosh.
Now this will be interesting to see if we all stay live because she's the host and she's got to get that plugged in and up going before that battery wears down. Because there is no, and this is the co-hosting feature. This is exactly why we need that feature. Because she can't.
I managed to actually exit
a live, and it still ran. But what kept it running was the host was in there multiple times. Like I was in my
You can
live.
go in and out. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
But
go in
that's-
and out from different PCs as a host.
Yeah.
So
But if you want to,
I missed the explanation. Sorry.
well, I didn't explain about Restream.
Oh, okay.
We were talking more about the co-host features of StreamYard, and to me, I don't think it's necessary to do it in terms of getting a co-host. It's just better to just use the Facebook page to do the editor feature, and that could be your co-host feature. That's my thoughts. Why program something so complicated or so simple?
It isn't that
To a-
complicated. It's a time frame.
It isn't that
issue.
complicated, but you have to
depends
understand that what you're doing when okay, let me explain. What you're doing when you're adding a co-host feature to your live, you're giving someone's permission. You're giving someone's permission to say, "I can broadcast as you." See that?
That all depends on the programmer, Alfredo. You're talking to somebody who's been there. It's at ones and zeros at the very, and I'm telling you, it can be done. So that's a
It
bottom
can be
line.
done. Yeah, it can be
Yeah.
done, but it just doesn't feel right when you give someone permission to broadcast to someone else. That's my
Well-
eerie feeling, co-host.
If you have good programmers, it's not an issue. And there are, you know,
I'm not
there-
talking about the programmers. I'm talking about the people you give permission to.
Mhm. But you got to know who you're giving permission to, Alfredo. Geez, that's on you. You're the host. You don't put somebody in a co-host position if you don't know them well and trust them. That's the know, like, and trust factor. Duh.
Duh.
I wouldn't be putting any stranger in there.
And it's very hard to know, like, and trust someone when you're on the internet all the time, and I've never met them in person.
Oh, wow. I have friends that I first connected with on the internet in the 80s, and I'd trust them with my
it's like-
life.
It's
I never
like-
saw them
You
in
didn't
person.
connect in the 80s to somebody on the internet because
Yeah,
there was no,
baby, excuse
But-
me, the BBS system I'm talking about
Yeah.
and connecting
that
around the
wasn't
world.
internet.
And I get
Right.
that. Actually, the
I
internet was around before it went commercial, guy, and from the educational side, because I have an
Really?
EDU. Oh yeah, Google it.
And-
What
and-
year did what
No,
year
no.
did
Because
you
of the
first-
education.
What year did you first have a username on?
Oh,
the
here we
internet?
go. It's the OG is gonna be
Yeah.
talking about the internet. Hold on, I'm gonna just mute and just
It's-
take notes.
It's neither here nor there, and I'm not
Oh.
gonna. It doesn't add
Okay.
context to the conversation today. From the standpoint, the know, like, and trust factor is a people thing. And do you have to be in person to develop that know, like, and trust factor? Do you have to
Yeah.
physically meet in person to develop that? And the answer to that is no. And if you believe it's yes, then that's on you. But I'm just saying the path
It's
that I have.
not a right or wrong factor. That's what I'm saying. I feel better if I actually meet the person in person.
Mhm,
I feel much better that way.
mhm.
If they're going through this and this is all I interact with, and they're not comfortable enough to meet me in person, then I'm a little worried that are they
Okay.
being truthful to me? Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay, that's a different use case because you said comfortable in meeting with them. Okay, number one, the controversy here is about hosting and having a co-host and being able to trust a co-host. To have a co-host, that's on the shoulders of the host to determine whether they are someone that they can trust with those capabilities. And how they develop that trust has to do with the relationship they have with that potential co-host. I would not invite a co-host, someone that I had just met virtually, someone I had not basically scoped out in my own comfort zone as to whether they are someone I want to actually pass that level of trust onto.
Thank you, Barb, for allowing me to dialogue back and forth our opposite opinions and not be offended or because it's about.
Not at
I think
all.
it's about learning from our seasoned. Is that a correct word? Seasoned generation. That- No, wrong word.
Experience,
Experience. Experience would have been a better word.
knowledgeable.
but
Knowledgeable.
but you know, as you go through life, Alfredo, because you are a little bit younger than we are.
Yes, ma'am. You can tell I have no white hair.
Well, yeah, but that could be a disguise.
Well, that's right, and that's not the relevancy, you know. But your chronological age, your emotional age, they're different depending on the individual and the life experiences that you have.
Mhm.
And that's why we have very immature 70-year-olds and very mature 20-year-olds. And it's
Right.
like, where did that happen? You know, it
And who
has to do.
measures that?
And
That's the important consideration.
I
Right.
wanted
Someone's
to
measured as their
mention.
maturity or immaturity.
Right.
Who's the quarterback in that huddle that says, "Okay, you're mature and you're not, and you are and you're not"?
You
I
are
don't
yourself.
say that.
Yeah.
I wanted to chime in on thanking Pat for getting us all together because
Yeah.
Sure.
and this is the cool thing about being on the internet. I'm gonna reach Guy's age one day, and Pat will reach Barb's age one day, and I'm getting a mirror image of like what it gonna look like in the future. Hopefully,
Oh,
It. I never dreamed I would still be here, quite frankly. And actually, if you go back through my pictures on Facebook and that, you'll notice that I looked older at 50 than I did at 60.
Hmm.
And it really has a lot to do with what we do with ourselves. Because after having so many life-threatening moments in my own story, is a major wake-up call. And it's like, well, clearly God is not finished with me yet, regardless of my opinion of what should happen. God's not done because I'm still here.
That's awesome.
So therefore, I must have a mission to complete within the divine story as to what he wants me to do. And so it's just real fascinating how life twists and turns. But all you can do, Alfredo, is be the best you can be for the moment that you're in. And always
Yes,
remember
ma'am.
to be kind and compassionate and to approach whatever it is you're facing with a positive attitude.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
even if someone, says, I hate you, Alfredo, you're just the worst person, and there's something going on in their life. You can just feel the energy in them and how negative it is. And you don't need that. And the thing
No.
is when you come across positive, your energy passes across to them. They
Yes.
begin to feel better about themselves.
And
So
and just a couple of minutes ago, someone was saying the mask is not enough to protect us, and I'm saying to myself, it's all about faith. I trust in my Amazon life.
well, you'll notice I'm not wearing a mask, but
What?
the story you guys don't know about my life. I mean, Guy, we touched on it the last live that he and Patricia and I were on together. As I said, there's nothing changed in my life story as a result of the virus because I had already made life adjustments just to continue to stay here. And because of having less than half of my lung capacity left in my life, I spend a lot of time behind a mask because just to breathe, to keep my passageway open. But when I made the choice, because if you're in a community or in a city setting, you can end up with smog. Of course, right now, I'd love to see a picture of LA right now. But
I could actually try to do that for you if I could stand on the balcony.
Is it clear or not?
You know what? I realized it does look a little. There's no brown layer I don't see anymore.
Yeah. They're saying over in China, where in Beijing, where it was so bad, that now that everybody is housebound, that the air is cleared up.
Yeah, and see, so Alfredo, that's when. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. That's when what?
When I lived in LA, I was a young woman in LA. That's where when I got out of high school, that's where I went to college, was in LA. And the thing is that's where I found out about how bad the damage had been to my lungs. My parents had kind of shielded me from what was going on. I just thought I was a sickly child. And even though I could keep my grades up, I had to spend a lot of time at home. And when I went to LA, there was smog, right? And it kept getting worse and worse and worse. Well, in 1972, I started having issues in I got to turn the sound off of my babies because they are interrupting my train of thought. So, but in 1972, when or I'm sorry, in 1974, when I married my husband, I warned him because he was a very healthy man. I warned him before he married me. I said, well, I have kind of this, you might think of it as a disability, but I live with it and I'm okay. I can do all these things, but I just don't have a lot of lung capacity. And I've learned to develop what I've got and go forward. But when I was working in downtown Los Angeles, the first year, it was 1975, and I was working for Carter Holly Hale Stores. They owned Bergdorf Goodman, the Broadway, and so forth. And I was like the first woman they had in management, in the accounting management side. I was sitting in my office, and I turned totally white. Well, we'd had a bad smoggy day in LA. But I had lost the oxygen. I couldn't breathe. So needless to say, it created an emergency situation. And then the doctor said, what are you doing without taking an oxygen tank to work with you every day in your state? And I said, what do you mean? He flips up the x-rays and shows me my lungs. And he said, that's all dead tissue there. That's scar tissue. You'll never, your lungs don't come back. And that's what makes that such a desperate thing. Mm-hmm. So as I went on, then in areas where there's lots of polluted air, so to speak, wearing a mask. But even up here in Central Oregon, my fear when I'm here in the summertime are fires.
Oh, yeah.
And so like my son came to me and he said, Mom, we got to have these masks and all this. And I said, don't worry, I got a whole stock of them.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the mask that I'm wearing is from the fire from 2 years ago. The you could see it almost like smog rolling in.
Right.
It's so thick. And my daughter and all the girls in her generation, including Andy, the daughter, she'd be a niece-in-law. They're all nurses. So when I said, I need to get a mask, God dang, I should have never said that. The suggestions in the inbox were quite
good. Pat, I'm going to jump in with my phone so we can see the air outside, okay?
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm up for that.
There were times that I had to, boom. All right. Okay,
all right, I'm going to switch the camera around and just show you the skyline.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Oh, and solo it.
Oh, wow! Look how blue that sky is.
Pat, you got to solo the. No, not the dog.
Oops.
One.
I don't know how to do it. Okay, wait.
Just
the other.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Barb. You can do it.
How do I do it?
Go ahead.
I can't do it, but I'm gonna.
Camera.
Yeah,
you have to tell her to select me.
I'm actually gonna stop that screen share so that you can now.
Okay,
you can.
Let's see.
You can solo.
Alfredo.
Alfredo.
How do I do it? Okay, wait.
Alfredo. This is.
Well, actually, he's a guest. He's a guest, though. Just a minute.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right. He's not a host. And
I'm a guest. You have to solo me.
I know, but I don't know how to do it.
Asking you to solo me. It's practice, Pat, because you're gonna have to do this a lot as a host.
I'm clicking on stuff, but it's not working.
Why are you soloing you? You have to solo me. Solo me.
Alfredo.
Right.
Alfredo. I'm telling you that I'm clicking around trying to figure it out.
You can mute him.
Okay, got it. You got it.
You know how to
mute him.
So I don't know how to do it.
Then I can't instruct you.
Because I'm clicking around and it's not working.
You're on the right path, though. I think.
I'm going to remove myself from the screen.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm afraid I honestly don't know how to do it.
Okay, do you see my icon moving around, panning?
Sure.
Move your cursor towards it.
Yeah, I'm clicking on it.
I'm curious
just
why
click
we
this-
need to make that bigger because I can see.
I mean, it would be nice to know how to do that. I just don't know how to do it.
You know how you selected you, Pat, to solo? Do it on my.
I just did that, but it only showed me. So obviously I did it wrong.
You're probably selecting your icon. You have to select my icon. There you go.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
There you go. I'm gonna do it this way so it tilts.
Yeah.
So now I know how to do it. Okay, cool.
Pat, good job. Is Barb still with us, or is she gonna?
I hope she can join us.
Yeah. There you go. That's how clear the sky is. See that? You see any brown layers?
Oops.
No.
Wait a minute.
You see any brown layers, Barb?
I think you need to climb up on the roof and give us a better
Can't get higher
picture
than
of
this.
No, don't do that.
Just grab hold of one of them pipes there.
You ought to get one of those IP cameras like I did. Get one off of Amazon and put it up there.
I can't install an IP.
You know, you could climb that tree over there. And
Get a drone. No, get a drone.
That's the neighbor.
Yeah, there you
that's
go,
the
Pat.
neighbor
Yeah,
tree.
well, the drones have, and especially there in LA, they got to follow FAA
Tachi's here.
guidelines.
Hey, Tachi. And
right,
thank you. She said hover over. I'll try to click on the person icon. That's what I just figured out. I'm really slow, but that's how I learn. If you want to join us.
In the sky for you guys? I mean, my arms are getting tired.
Oh, okay.
Is that enough sky? Did you guys
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
You
beautiful.
got tired arms, you better not be climbing up there. That would be dangerous.
There you go. Woo! That was cool.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
I'm going to go back to my laptop.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to get back to work on my podcast episode.
Back to what? What's that word?
Yeah, I know,
Work?
I know. It's
Saturday.
If you're a producer, you got stuff to do. So I got all of the week coming ahead outlined. In fact, I got 2 of them to record, 2 of them to finish polishing the outline on, and then I'm good to go for the rest of the week. So if I get them done by tomorrow, all in the box, as they say, then they're all scheduled on Podbean, and I just sit back and twiddle my thumbs, work on my garden.
Pat, remember how I went outside to kind of take a look at the sky?
Yeah.
I did actually a StreamYard, I think a couple of months ago, where I was still the host, and I made it so that my phone was the center of attention, and I actually drove all the way to SpaceX to get their rocket kind of filmed.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, I've done a couple of tests like that in one of my groups. It worked.
Okay, Guy.
You have to go, Guy? Yep. Bye, Guy. Now I have to entertain these ladies. Hello.
And now it gets dangerous.
I hope Tachi can join us. We'll see. She's watching us on YouTube. How about that? So I just
it does
posted
say
the
that.
Link.
Did you send the link? Did you send the link via Facebook Messenger, or you just dropped in the link on the?
Well, actually, first because I had only had it set for Facebook, I posted the link on Facebook, and I realized she's on YouTube, so I sent it on YouTube.
Okay, just as soon as she gets in here, just try to remove the link.
If she's able to.
Well, if she's able to
remove that link because it's public.
Yeah, remove that
you
link.
Don't want to do that.
Yeah, I know, but yeah. Well, let's see if she joins us.
The good news is that when you do something like that with StreamYard, is they're only going to be in the green room, and so again, the host can monitor to see who's there in the green room.
Exactly.
Before letting them in, but yeah. You're right.
Exactamundo.
Very dangerous to put that out there on YouTube.
That's why I had it set for Facebook first.
Pat is learning how to be a producer / host. See?
Well, I've been doing it for 20 years, but StreamYard is relatively new, and you have to. I think you should learn whatever platform you're on.
Yeah.
When I was on radio, I learned how to work the board, analog board. Never did learn how to do the digital, but yeah. So I'm learning StreamYard.
One of the
I
things I've
appreciate your
learned,
help and Tachi's help.
one of the things I've learned is that you don't have to have a show to be knowledgeable about this stuff.
Oh, well, I do as a journalist, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to learn just to because I was curious. I wanted to see how it works because it would benefit the people I know.
Mm-hmm.
And the church, for example, has benefited from my curiosity. Now they have a way to live stream from the local church.
For sure.
Yeah, it's good.
Go
It's
ahead.
interesting you bring the church up because, as you and I both know, the church is about the people, not about the steeple. And the thing is that while we met through Blab, and of course there were several of us Christians were there together in that scene. And the thing is that because of this happening, because of the coronavirus and the inability to be able to get together in person, it really opened up the minds of a lot of traditional church congregations.
Wow.
And so I have a secret group of family members. And what I learned is that, oh my gosh, they have wonderful churches they're attending in real life, which I will never go to in real life.
But you can remotely.
Right. And so then I said to everybody, just drop the link. I said, if your church is on, drop the link. And then my husband, I have to tell you how the story came about. My husband, he goes to church every single Sunday. And he plays golf in the afternoon, plays golf on Saturday. And of course, with this order, he can't go and play golf, right? And then he said he was lost because he needs his routine. And so now he can't go to church. And that Facebook thing, he really didn't want that much to do with that Facebook thing. And and I said, well, you're in the family group. And I said, did you know that your church has a group? No, I didn't know that. And I said, they have a page on Facebook. And I said, you need to check out with them to see if they're streaming, online on Facebook. And you know what? Because of that conversation, he didn't Google it. I went to their website. They got a whole schematic of what they're doing, with it in the virtual space and, to visit them on Facebook and to visit their group. And so younger people that are members of the congregation, they get it. And
so I wanted to introduce you to the younger generation of live streamers. There you go.
Hey.
So these are my kids. We're doing the isolation thing. Oh, thank you. And they're learning by example, hopefully, that it's okay to communicate with people that you know and trust, but also know how to say, no, I don't know you, and then so come on, kids, you want to say hello? Guys?
Hi. Hi.
And this is the next generation of live streamers, ladies and gentlemen.
Cool. Very cool.
Know God and use technology to its full capabilities.
Nice. Very nice. So
that goes along with what Barb was saying, that the church has opened up its mind. The church goers have opened up its mind. And,
Well, I just watched a beautiful Good Friday celebration with my niece. She's a reverend in Lake Forest, Illinois, just outside Chicago, and they had a beautiful. It was at the one of the reverend's homes, of course, not in the church. So it was really beautiful. And then the church organist was live streaming from, or maybe it was pre-recorded, but anyway, he was in the church at the organ. So they were switching back and forth. It was really nice. It was really nice. Now I'm still learning the StreamYard. So while you were talking, Barb, I was trying to make it so that you were big and that Alfredo and I were small. It didn't work. So I clicked.
I saw me as big one time. You
You
had
did, because okay, so I'm clicking right now on one big, two small, and then
and
I click. So that's me, and so I clicked on you, but it's
Yeah,
so low.
it won't show the two of us. Yeah, it's
yeah,
always the host that's big.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I got you. So let me go back. Okay, I see. Thank
But
you. See, I'm still learning. Thank you so
Barb,
much.
thank you for sharing that story about the church. I mean, I kind of have the same situation, but I was the kind of the early adopter of it, and it felt like no one was following my footsteps. And now, 4 years later, a lot of the members, or majority who have internet access, are meeting like that because of the current situation.
Hmm.
And I feel I'm still left out of the group because I went beyond that already. I've already learned that technology. They're using Zoom, by the way.
But it isn't
And
just. Oops, I'm getting
what?
feedback from somebody. Do you
Is it
have
me?
two? Do you have two on?
It could be me. Yeah, I'll
Great.
just mute me.
Okay. Technology is just a tool.
Mm-hmm.
So and I know you guys when we were all on Blab and I said we're going to have to go. I as much as I hate it, we need to go over to Facebook because of the numbers on Facebook. We have the opportunity to reach a multitude more than we were reaching through that platform. And I said, the way that things are going to twist and turn, it's going to happen there. And as you noticed, in the last 14 months, in particular, Facebook has doubled down on groups.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if your church, and they exist, Alfredo, they weren't on Blab, they aren't in the Wirecast groups and that, they're using the tools, but the technology tools isn't what it's all about. It's all about the connection and just being able to have a reliable, I mean, that's like why use Be Live versus, why use StreamYard versus Be Live for some of us is because for some of us, we had a more consistent, reliable connection through StreamYard, even though, it's lots of people, lots, of uh, relationships are tied through those connections through the other product, but they're both just tools.
Mm-hmm.
And so what Facebook groups really is the old bulletin board system with real-time interaction.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the most incredible thing that happened in the BBS room was when we would type something and the message would automatically appear and everybody would be able to see it. It wasn't that way in the beginning. You would put your message and they would come in at various intervals and see it. It wasn't real time. It did not drop to the bulletin board to be visible to everybody real time.
I do
And
remember those bulletin boards way back when.
yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it was text, but in those adventures in my life, I had government employees in there that when my son ran away from home, I had a U.S. Marshal call to actually, and the FBI got involved unofficially in moments to find my kid for me in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they were on the East Coast. So,
Whoa.
and that was in the BBS days, back
Wow.
when those communications had to be complicated with fax machines and analog telephones. So it's all about
It's
the
all about the
connection.
connection. Okay,
It's
so
all about the people connection. So in
and
your church, you have an awesome opportunity. You as a
to connect with
Christian,
to connect with
yes,
them.
not just it's how to connect with them. It's now the tool is there and you can communicate, but now you can put all of those trainings. And I mean, like my husband and I ran a whole course on marriage and relationships. And now that's something that those old materials from the 70s, guess what? It's no different in marriage today than it was back then. We just have different tools to work
That's what.
with.
That's that. Now I get it. Now I get it. Now I get it. I get it. I get it, Barb. You know why? Because there's this one portion in Facebook. This is one portion of Facebook that talked about digital transformation, and I kind of made a comment about there's still a digital divide, meaning that even though the tool is there, the division still exists. We still have to narrow that division so
It's
that
the
we can
people,
connect with her.
right?
Yes.
You have to use. It's very simple. You have
Yes.
to use the tool, and you have to use the tools for good, because that's the
Definitely.
other thing you've
And-
learned. And it isn't just the digital tools. Any tool, because that's how come we have ammunition and guns and all those kinds of things. They can be used for good. They're not all bad. It's the people who make them bad by their choice of use. If they want to put them to good use, they can, and if they want to put them to evil use, they can. But
Yeah,
that's on them.
Like my church, when I first moved here, had a cassette ministry, and then they eventually had a CD ministry,
Right? Yeah.
and now the churches are having live streaming ministries. And very often they're involving the young people, because very often it's the young people who, not always, but in some churches, it's the young people who are the experts at
I wanted to go back
internet.
to what Barb was saying about how Facebook and Facebook groups are still the old BBS ways. The thing about that comment, I've also noticed something different on Facebook now that I've seen. There's more of these. I'm looking on the other computer. There's more of these free download ebooks now on Facebook. Have you been getting those, or am I just special?
Well, with some people,
I don't
with
get
some
the
people,
context.
there's some people that's a ploy to get your email address.
The context is that you know how it's a tool
In the
to connect-
ads,
No, they're not
Okay.
ads. They're not ads.
groups can have files in the groups, and that is where you store things like ebooks and even videos, but they're tools for people to work with. Yes, you can.
Okay.
That's just your resources for people to go to.
Right.
It's like, do you really know how to use groups effectively?
Not
Majority
exactly
of the folks don't.
Yeah, because no one's either shown me. You have to either figure it out, or go to someone like Barb or Pat. I'm not sure Pat knows how to use groups too. Do you know how to use groups?
A little bit.
We have the master of groups here, Pat. We got to ask her the questions so we can get get to know the tool.
Well, that's that is my specialty. But it's not about, again, the label of groups. It's where the virtual communities congregate. So and going back to Blab, and I said, this day will come. Going back to that is that, and when I said we needed to be a group, we needed to be a community within that group. And that was where we would archive that important information to go. It's like, did you read the manual? That is from way, way back when, the RTFM, you remember that acronym is like, oh my gosh, is that what that stands for?
I just got it.
So many people do not read instructions. Hello? To this day, it's like, give me that. I'll figure it out. And so you need to have that reference point. And when it comes, with the from the Christian standpoint, when you think about what I traditionally had as Sunday school, and that is where we learned all of the things that we learned about each subject, you can cover those, even the books of the Bible, different things about, different categories of help, of personal development under the Christian realm, under that line of thinking. So within your church, and make a big difference. But more importantly, and I'll just give you a use example, is you have a real life.
I'm sorry, my kids are calling. I'm going to mute.
That's okay.
You have a real life church that you go to normally before the coronavirus. You would go to that church. And then it's like, well, this week we're going to study blah, 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 right? Within that structure. and open up our Bibles and we're going to do this, that, and the other thing, right? Well, the thing is, not every Christian is sold completely, and you know that on the word. And so it's a learning process. And so what the deal is they will take those pieces of paper, go home, and come back on Sunday and not have done anything. That's what happens traditionally. But add these tools to work with. Those things, one, can be within that group on Facebook. The assignment, just like any other online course, anything, the assignments are there. And let's talk about the challenges that you're having every day. Let's meet live for, depending on what your faith is, coffee and tea, or whether it's juice or whatever. But let's meet live for what you and the three of us know as a hangout, but just as a session to, if you're having trouble with this area, let's talk about it now, today, not wait until Sunday.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, you can get together, praise the Lord. And, it's like we've had this accomplishment because we were together.
So the trouble I have of using the tool, it's not the problem of using the tool. It's getting to connect with someone to kind of like, why is he asking me these questions about connecting on the tool? And it's like they have this defensive guard that
I don't blame them, quite frankly, because I went from WebEx to Zoom, and there are security issues there as well. And that's why you've got one place. You can't be having them scatter to this clubhouse, that clubhouse, go all the way around. You got to focus. And the thing is, how many people, we all know, because you said, well, I'm really shy, I'm an introvert, I don't, this is going to take a lot just for me to come on screen. That's not abnormal.
Where they only just use their voice in a picture like that, right?
They can, Alfredo, but what you yes, there are many options, and you've been given that gift so that you can show them what those options are. You can take a small increments of time to show them that. Say, these are ways that introduce you to come online and make you feel comfortable about that. But it's not going, that's why a tool like StreamYard within Facebook is valuable. Because you can have 6 people at a time on screen. You can have all the people in the green room sitting there watching on top of that, and the people in the comments. Now,
the other thing I was told too is that I need to just broadcast all the time. But I don't have that. I don't have that time anymore.
There's no reason to broadcast if you don't really have anything to broadcast for.
Yeah, why would I need to broadcast when my priority is at home, not to these extra people that are struggling to use this?
Yeah, so why worry about it? Why worry about it?
Why worry about people learning how to use this tool? I've learned it. I know how to use it. I just know how I need to connect with not the people online. I have to learn how to connect with the folks at home. That's where I fell short. I was trying to connect with people online, thinking I can help my family. It's not. It's the opposite. It has to be started at home.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's where I figured out all this learning that I've been doing to learn how to use this tool to connect with others on the computer was supposed to help me connect with my family.
Very good.
That's what I figured out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And that's the message you should take back in your relationship within your church as well. In whatever
I
group
went
that
on
if you're in a young married group or whatever group that you're, I'm assuming that part is kind of traditional in the way churches are run, and there are groups for people, couples that are your age group, and share those experiences, because you and your wife are not alone. You and your wife's children and your children are not alone. And that is how you bring the real world into the virtual world and back out again. and how I developed lifelong relationships is when I would meet people at the airport in real life that I had known virtually maybe 10 years.
Because
And
there's a situation where Barb and I were kind of in the same circle in Glad, and I was kind of like caught in the crossfire because I was just trying to join the conversation. And I'm talking about when Marty McPadden, Stephen Hayward, and I think Beauty Bubble was actually in that situation. And I was in there like I just wanted to talk and learn stuff, but I didn't realize there was a history behind
well, that
you
was
and
it.
Marty. Yeah, I was like, what's going on? All of a sudden, it blew up in my face, and I felt like I was like,
I remember that episode, and it was the one after. And I very jokingly, Marty was saying things that could and couldn't be done, with the Facebook groups, and I, even at that stage, felt I was an expert at Facebook groups because I was OG way back, from the beginning, and I knew what that meant. It wasn't about being a group. It was about being a community. And even when I set up the
hold on. You need to boot that person there, Pat.
I don't even see it, but then now that's interesting that Alfredo could see that person and I couldn't.
That's a private chat, and
oh,
his name is very offensive. Thank you for visiting us. You need to come back. You need to come back where you respect people online.
I don't see the name.
I see the name in the private chat. You don't see that, Pat?
No, I don't either.
Oh, private chat.
Okay, you need to focus on this. This is where trolls. This is when trolls come in. Do not let him in. But if he's still there,
it's all good.
Listen to the sound of my voice.
It's all good.
Leave now before we boot you.
Yeah, he's fine. I said hi to him. I wasn't going to let him in because I don't know him. It's all good.
Okay, so he's welcome to stay, Pat. I mean, because right now he's using offensive languages.
Yeah, I'm just ignoring. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Because it's almost
what I was saying about that situation with Marty, and I wasn't sure what was going on. I was just like, what? Like I got caught in crossfire. And I was like, and I didn't know. I didn't know the history between you and Marty. And I wish that other person, Beauty, you know who she is, Beauty Bubble? You don't know?
Beauty Bubble.
Oh,
I know
yes.
Beauty Bubble. Sure.
I'm familiar with all of it.
I wish she was, more forthright of why things happen they are, but
she wasn't. She was stepping in thinking that she would try to balance things out and try to help there in her behalf. That's a positive thing. Right. But she didn't have the appropriate context. She wasn't there when the issue
wasn't there
came
either. I wasn't sure what was going on. I was like, what?
Exactly.
I didn't know. No one explained to me. That's why.
And so then they made a show out of that based on their perceptions, which they turned all around, didn't deal with the reality. I actually have a recording of the show where all this crap came down in and what was said. And I have the messages between me and Marty and so forth. But as far what I did was a joke is that, he said, well, if you don't like it, you can just get out of the group. And I just said, well, Marty, I created the group. And frankly, if anyone can eliminate others from the group, it's me.
I thought it was Marty. Wait. What I understood was Marty created the group.
No way.
I didn't know you originally.
Oh, you can tell on the group that I created it. And
not only
it was my group from the beginning. Because I said there had been.
Was he created it? I thought he created it. See, I didn't know.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I featured their show. He is a Mark show. And I said, because this is where we are today. And I wanted to actually help them by promoting them. But egos got in the way. It went far beyond. I mean, you look at the way.
I mean, Barb, I still follow Stephen Hayward. He's
I
a
don't
cool
have
guy.
a problem with that.
Yeah, and then and it wasn't. I'm not burning bridges. There was a disagreement. I didn't know what was going on. I was trying to figure like what is going on.
It's just, why don't I? And I have blocked them from my view and everything.
I understand.
Is because
I
I
can
can't
still be a
handle
bridge to them
negative
if you wanted
energy.
to heal the relationship. That's what I was trying to get at.
What?
I could be a bridge to them if you wanted to heal the
Oh, I
if you
don't.
want.
I have.
See, there we go. That's all.
They're
That's all
not.
I was trying. I mean,
They're not
I
part
like
of
you,
my
Barb. I
story.
like Stephen, but I don't want to. I don't want to be cut off from a generation of people that know knowledge. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying. That's what I was trying to
Then,
salvage. That,
okay, I can appreciate that, but
yeah,
here's the thing: is you need to let that go and just move
let it go.
on.
Yeah,
Because here's the thing: the reason why I block that energy out of my life is because it was negative energy that wasn't going anywhere, and there was nothing I could do about at that time. And that is something that none of us. We're sitting here speaking with each other. You have no idea what's going behind the scenes in my real life, other than my corgis, which I've shown you.
mm-hmm.
And my daily living challenge, my health. I mean, you guys have no idea about the number of people in my surroundings that I've worked with that have had cancer over the last 10 years. And at the time that happened, I was a full-time caregiver for someone and helping the next door neighbor get through it as well.
And what I'm learning from you, Barb, is I have to learn how to respect my elders and gain wisdom from them. Wait, did I say it wrong? I'm sorry.
Nope. That's a generation.
I want to say hi real quick. Donald Brandt's here and Fraser Ramsey's here. So I just want to say hi. And we're only going to be on for just a couple more minutes. And
Barb, if you want to continue on our own live or your own live, we can. No?
I don't want to. Number one, I don't want that subject being brought up again.
I'm sorry.
In my circle. And I will delete it from Born to Stream Live. It's history. And I told my husband yesterday, we were live, and I noticed that there was an area on the wall in our home that needed to be patched. And I said, didn't you pay someone to come in and do the roof? And yes, but he didn't deliver his promise, and so I cut it short. And he went on and on with this, and I said, you know what? That's history. You solved that. You told him not to come back, but you need to take care of the issue. You still need to take care of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're happy in what they're doing, I'm happy for them.
Right.
They did what they wanted to do. I did what I wanted to do, and everybody should be happy about that.
And I managed to stay connected with all four of you, even though there was a disagreement, and I'm happy with what happened. We moved on. We moved forward. We just learn and have fun. Yeah.
Well, if anybody knows that I do know how to push the delete button when things get negative, you do. So I'm just
whoops, did I write that right? Oh, let me rewrite it. Oh, delete.
So, and you should know that when I delete you, something didn't go right.
I think it's good to, in my opinion, I'm a loner. I don't take friendship lightly.
Me either.
But there's a way to stay in contact with people who have different relationships with different people in different groups without it getting ugly.
Exactly.
And there's also there's always a way to stay positive, of course. Right. But also there's a really, to me, I don't know if it's a gift or a tactic or a practice, but you should, after a certain age, be able to cut people loose and to let people know, okay, this will end here. We won't go beyond this, and still be cordial and even friends. Mm-hmm. So Don wants to know what's what in Durham. We don't have quite a curfew yet, but we were told not to have gatherings of more than 5 people, believe it or not, down from 10 to 5. And so everybody's being really careful. A lot of people in Durham have coronavirus. A lot of
Wow.
people. So, and I lost a friend Monday to coronavirus. So this is serious. Yeah. So,
Before we go, I did want to show my appreciation to you, Pat, for doing this Hangout show.
oh
And
sure.
I also wanted to appreciate Barb for teaching this young kid that doesn't know about the internet connection thing. Thank you for taking the time to try to coach me, teach me, show me my errors and my ways so I can adjust and learn.
Well,
Thank you.
one thing I have to say to you, Alfredo, I'm saying this in public, maybe I shouldn't, but you're on a lot.
I am.
And
I have to
you
kind of
told us,
curtail that. I have to take
yeah,
that
you
back.
told us you're addicted, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to say, especially because it's Easter and time for renewal and all this sort of thing.
Right.
Family first,
Yes.
because
Family
there were when Periscope first started. I don't know the guy's. He was an English guy, and he was on like all day on Periscope. Remember Periscope, right? So here's the thing. Alex Pettit, that's his
Yeah.
name. He was on so much that his relationship was ruined. And I don't think he realized how addicted he was. I mean, it was very exciting times. And Periscope at the beginning was super exciting, and it's still cool. But he got sucked in and was on 3 and 4 times a day for hours at a time. And he ruined his own relationship. You know, he started getting his family involved, and I don't think they were interested, you know?
Well,
And
this is why life has changed.
yeah,
Is exactly that, because look what's happening right now. It's not by choice that the families wanted to connect this way.
hmm
You know, it was, I need to stay connected because I can't connect the way that I wanted to connect.
hmm
But now that they're learning, they're saying, hey, wait a minute, this is not so bad because I can use this other time more valuably.
right.
And so
I
think
guess the
it's
point I was trying to make with Alex though is that you saw him spending more time with us
yeah.
than with his own family, and that he ruined it. And I actually think that I was sitting there wondering, when is he going to spend time with his girlfriend? Not that I worry about people's relationships,
Right.
but I'm like, and people, I see people on YouTube, for example, they'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry I wasn't on yesterday." I'm like, I don't care. You know, I'll watch you whenever you're on. I don't care
Yeah.
if you skip
Yeah.
a week or two. You're not indebted to me. I'm not paying your salary. You know, they're apologizing for the kids appearing on screen. They're apologizing for being late for making videos. They're apologizing for skipping a day. And I'm like, you should be with your family, you know? And Don's saying how serious it is that the neighbor has to school their kids while they're home,
And
6 to
also,
7 hours a day. Yeah.
Eileen shared it in our private group, and
Mhm.
she says kudos to you, Pat, for being consistent on your hangout things. That's pretty cool.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
well, I'm enjoying it. It's my way of, I'll be happy when some people from Durham join. This is supposed to be
yeah.
the Bull
Right.
City hangout for Durhamites. Although I welcome,
we got to get the old friends online guy.
yeah, I wanted everybody to join, but
How are you
ideally,
getting the word out to the people who actually live in Durham?
well, right now I'm just online. So
How? Are you in Durham groups then?
yeah, and I choose 3 groups every day, and I send personal invitations for them to come on the show. And it didn't occur to me until today to point out that most of these groups I have joined as Patricia A. Murray
instead of Durham Skywriter.
and not Durham Skywriter. So I'm sending these invitations. It just occurred to me to add the sentence, I am the publisher of the Durham Skywriter, Durham's online community paper.
There you go.
So starting on Monday, I hope that people will start joining me, because some people don't know my real name. They just call me Durham Skywriter.
Yeah.
So I learn as I go along.
Okay.
I wanted, before you, if you're going to end, I wanted to share a scripture that I've been sharing with a lot of my counselors and friends. Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron as one person sharpens another. Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Patricia, for getting me sharp.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank
And I
you.
hope you guys have a wonderful Easter and Passover and everything else.
Love you. Bye.
See you
All
soon.
right.
See everybody.
All right, you're gonna close that, right? I'm gonna
Yep.
drop out.
Yeah, okay. So that's it. That was super fun. I do this every day at noon. And obviously I won't be doing it tomorrow. It's Easter. So I'll just say goodbye now. Ciao for now.